Hi, my name is Daniel. Welcome to my channel, Daniel's Bibliophagy. Today I have a book haul for you. Uh, just got a bunch of random stuff because the day ends in Y, and to celebrate, I buy books. I went on vacation recently and went to a bunch of flea markets and thrift stores that I'm not used to, so therefore you usually find things that you wouldn't normally at your local haunts. So I have quite a pile here, and then some stuff I also ordered online because mainly because of you guys. The people I see on BookTube like hold stuff up that I desperately want, so I go online and seek it out, and it's just part of the fun. I think the collecting. What does that say about me? I don't know, but I want to show you what I got because some of it's actually quite cool this time around. Um, I apologize if I look like I'm melting, but the humidity is just crazy today. So I do this. I had to turn off the fan because it was just way too loud. So I'm doing it for you. Uh, the first thing I got came in the mail, and it's something that I've sort of shown on the channel a few times. It sort of popped up. It's a little dorsal fin because I just keep talking about it because I really want it to be good, and I hope it is. And that's Jaws 2, novelization of the movie. Unlike the first Jaws book, Jaws 2 is a novelization. The first one was a book originally, and then it became a movie. This is the novelization of Jaws 2. I was a little disappointed. I didn't hate it, but I was a little disappointed with the first novel. But I heard this was really good, so I need this to be good, guys. Please let it be good. So Jaws 2, I keep proudly showing it for good reason. It's Jaws. Anyway, got distracted. This is just a Dresden Files book. I keep getting them and then getting rid of them because I want to find the perfect form factor for this series. This is a urban fantasy series featuring Harry Dresden, who's a wizard who, in the beginning of the series, he's like solving murders and crimes, like a noir occult detective type of character. And then over time, it's become more of a Buffy the Vampire Slayer esque, like, oh, this is an apocalypse, we need to stop it. Um, I have had quite a few of these in hardcover and then a few in softcover. Then I got rid of them to go like pure e-copy, and now I'm back to getting them in paper because I like to see them on the shelf. This was a very important series to me when I was in my younger adult days before having kids, and then he sort of went on a hiatus, and he's back, but but now I'm trying to recollect the series. Unfortunately, there was like a form factor change with the mass markets that really irritates me. So I don't know. I maybe I'll just get these in hardcover, but like the first few are like impossible to get without spending the bucks. So right now I'll just settle for getting the mass market paperbacks, which is my preferred version for most reading. If you see on the channel, I like a lot of vintage science fiction and stuff. It fits in the hand. I just prefer it that way. The next item, pardon me, the next item I got is a book that's based on a old video game series that is XCOM, UFO Defense Force. This is by Diane Duane, who's done a lot of Star Trek novels that I know of. So she's a really good writer. I'm interested to see what she does with this. My only memories about this video game, the original one, is that it's extremely hard. So I'm not expecting humanity to win, if that's any basis. In the reboot series, uh, there was like an XCOM reboot and then XCOM 2, and their take for the canon of the story is that in XCOM 2 you lost XCOM 1. So we'll see if this has any bearing whatsoever with that version of the series that more people are familiar with, but I didn't even know this existed, and just a little Garbogusty vibes. Diane Duane, again, really good writer, so we'll see. The next thing I got, I have to blame Roy from Roy Reads Anything. He was talking about his old Conan novels. This is in preparation for Sumerian September, which is an event by Michael K. Vaughan, where we read all of Conan, the original Robert E. Howard version, during the month of September. I am not going to excuse me. I'm not going to participate in the same way, mainly because I just read all of Howard's Conan like a year or two ago, and I don't really feel the need to rehash it quite yet. But I was interested in the paperbacks that came out by L. Sprague de Camp and Lynn Carter, because even this is like a negative advertising, because like Michael K. Vaughan was adamantly against, these are not Conan. These are pastiches that they mix their own writing in with Robert E. Howard's after his death, and it's sullied. It's not real Conan. And then other YouTubers have picked one side or another. Roy really enjoys all of these, and what I picked up is Conan of the Isles, which is a great cover. There were a couple options I could have gotten, but he recently did a video where he went through his entire collection of these and was talking about them, and I got so excited in the middle of the video that I just went on eBay and purchased the first one I could find. And then after I hit that button saying, yes, I would like this book, please, he gets to this book on his channel and he says, oh, this is the only one that was really disappointing. So we'll see. It's not something I'm actually going to read in September out of respect for Michael K. Vaughan, because this is not Conan, according to him. It's Phonan, and therefore we will throw it to another month. So the next item I got is another Garbagustinian title, Flesh, by Philip Jose Farmer, and I'm just going to read the synopsis, and you can make your own decisions of whether or not this is a book for you. So, after 800 years of exploring the stars, Space Commander Stagg had expected a hero's welcome, but this was awesome! First, they grafted real antlers on his head. Then, they invested him with the pure sex power of 50 bulls and turned him loose on a screaming frenzy of fired-up virgins. Now, he was on an ecstatic public fertility tour that took in every available female and could soon take his life. Flesh. So, it's science fiction and therefore dignified. I also, at the same store, got a few more Philip Jose Farmers. These are not the first books in the series. Let's see, I have books 3, 4, and 5 of the World of Tears series by Philip Jose Farmer. Mainly got it because the covers were so cool. I anticipate it's not going to be too difficult to get the first 3 books, so I'm going to hold on to them until I can get them. But this is A Private Cosmos. Then we have Behind the Walls of Terra. I cannot read backwards. And then finally, The Lavalite World. And something about these covers just draws the eye, and I can't explain it, but I will get to these when I can get the first few in the series, but it looks interesting. I really don't know a whole lot about them, other than there's like this this world that I believe has a bunch of strata, which is a different like world at each strata. Beyond that, I don't know. But so I'll probably read Flesh first. And I got some hardcovers. This I got it at a Goodwill for like $2 each. The first is by Alan Dean Foster, and that's Catch-A-Lot. I assume that's how you say it. I'm just gonna read the beginning of this and see if it sounds familiar to you, because something popped into my mind immediately. And obviously Catch-A-Lot didn't steal it, but this other thing might have. A scene from a movie. So, one second. A world of ocean. As the approaching storm stirred the sea, the gray polymer dock began to bob gently. The elderly fisherman could have moved to one of the more stable streets of the floating town, but when dealing with the creatures of the ocean, he preferred the feel of their environment. There was a tug on his line, and he reeled in a small yellow fish with 4 blue eyes. It would serve him better as a bait for a larger game, the old man decided, and dropped it back into the water. Now here's where the scene comes in. Suddenly, there was another tug, much stronger. The fishing pole curved downward towards the sea in a wide arc, drawing more and more line. A shape was just barely visible in the dark water beyond, a shape that moved very quickly and grew to enormous proportions as it neared the dock. The old man's eyes widened in terror. Crying out, he flung away his fishing pole and ran towards the town. He did not make it beyond the end of the pier. I'm just going to pause there because this is a very long introduction. But that was a scene in Godzilla, 1998, which is like universally hated by everyone who wasn't me. As a kid, I really enjoyed it. But yeah, just this fisherman with his line, and then the dock is just exploding behind him as he's running to the shore. I don't know. But we're going to continue because this gets interesting. 2 days later, when the first of Rorqual Town's wandering fishing fleet returned to the spot, they found no trace of what had been their home, nor any sign of the town's 800 inhabitants. Two marine biologists it was the chance of a lifetime, the fulfillment of a dream, and Cora Zamantina needed a dream fulfilled just now. As the shuttle entered Cachalot's atmosphere, Cora tried to remember all the things she'd read about the water world. There was virtually no dry land anywhere. The few permanent human installations, such as Commonwealth headquarters, were located on reefs built by creatures very much like the corals of Earth. The rest of the population lived on a floating town, a wonderfully efficient adaptation, and yet, Cora was certain, not nearly as efficient or as wonderful as the changes that must have occurred beneath the surface of the sea. Long before her birth, a guilt-ridden human race had tried to atone for centuries of slaughter by transporting Earth's surviving cetaceans to Cachalot. A covenant had been made between whales and men, a non-interference pact that neither side dared violate. Cora could not help but wonder at the progress of the huge sea mammals had made. Within hours after her arrival, she would have reason to suspect the cetacean progress had taken a devastating, deadly turn. It's a Waterworld book called Cachalot. I don't know. Whales, apparently, very smart, very dangerous in this book. So it's probably like a prequel to Star Trek 4. Another book I got from the same place, the Goodwill, is the best of Corden Waiter-Smith. I've never read him before, but it is a beautiful cover. If I can not get reflections all over it. From what I understand, it's a bunch of short stories, so good stuff there. Speaking of good stuff, we got the Chronicles of Amber Volume 1, which was part of a 2-volume set that was supposed to have the entirety of the Amber Chronicles before he wrote like 10 books more. So I actually have the Big Book of Amber, I think that's what it's called, which is the paperback you can get on Amazon now. But it's so flimsy, and I do want to read it. So I think I'm going to read the first few books out of this volume first, which is beautiful artwork by Unknown. Uncredited and unknown, but loved. Very nice. I got some Paul Anderson, who this is called Orion Shall Rise. I haven't read this yet. I've read a few of his books. He wrote like 8,000, so some of them have been really good. I hope this is one of them. And finally, it is getting really hot, and I apologize because like my hair is frizzing and I am melting, but I love you. So the last thing I got was the deal of probably the decade for me. This is something I've been keeping my eyes out for a very long time. Not really expecting I'd ever see them, let alone get them for $1 a piece. I was at a flea market out of town and saw this one section. Mainly I was just looking for books because I have a problem. There's one section in the flea market that just said, DVDs and books are $1 each. And rather than getting another copy of Godzilla of 1998, I got some bound editions of Harpers magazines from 1870 to 1871, which is, I guess, volume 42 of these. These are just, like, independently bound issues of the original Harpers magazines from, like, 5 years after the Civil War. So I got 1870 to 71, 1889, all the way up to the modern era of 1903. And these are just gorgeous on the inside. I'm really pleased to find them. All throughout, you have beautiful like illustrations, line work, and they're in surprisingly good condition. This one has seen some water at some point, but I think it's just more of humidity than anything. But just, there's an infant in Germany, and she is drinking beer and pretzels, enjoying some pretzels. And then, like, the articles are things that you just, well, it could be, like, a little bit of everything. So, here is just an article of life in Brittany, and once again, this is circa 1870, so it is a little, well, I'll just share with you. I'm doing a lot of reading today. I apologize. I know my voice isn't the best for this, but we will push on. All right, so this is just the beginning of life in Brittany. One who has long lived in Paris, on going into Brittany, finds himself in the midst of a strange language. Should a Welsh rustic, however, find his way there, he would find that he has more than half a notion of the Breton tongue. Old Welsh and Old Breton are alike in modifications of Old Celtic. One who travels, first in rural Wales and then in rural Brittany, will find a likeness in not a few of the habits of the two communities, and even in their physique. In passing through a crooked-streeted, thatch-roofed, musty-looking old Breton village, one observes, first of all, the women. What a tough, hearty, baked look they have, and the quaint costumes in which they adorn themselves. They are as brown and brawny as a Welsh farmer's lass, not so brisk, however. Their faces are too often blank expanses of rugged flesh. The expression is essentially animal. Hardly a spark of human intelligence lighting in them, not even, alas, when they smile. If you perchance have a smattering of the Breton patois, and talk to them, you will find that beyond their immediate work, their excessive superstition, and their blind reverence for the priest, they know absolutely nothing. It is recorded in the histories how Brittany, now in the most Catholic of French provinces, was the last to submit to the domination of the Merovingian, and also of the Roman Christianity. It held to Druidism to the bitter end. This can't be like a real travel. This is just a little too lampoony. But I don't really have any context for you, so if there's any viewers in Brittany, is this true? And apologies, my profuse apologies for what this writer has said about you. But I have to imagine, like, I mean, this goes on for a while. I don't know if this is, like, meant to be taken seriously. I have a feeling it's not, but you never know. People were kind of mean back then. I mean, slavery. Then we have the 1889, which has some cool stuff in it, but I thought I'd share with you a little poem. I'm not one who's much for poetry. You probably won't see a whole lot of poetry on this channel, but I'll do a reading for you. This is an illustration that goes along with it, which is, I love this art style. Just the old line art. This is called The Brook by William Wordsworth. Brook, whose society the poet seeks, intent his wasted spirits to renew, and whom the curious painter doth pursue, through rocky passes, along flowery creeks, and tracks thee dancing down thy water breaks. If wish were mine some type of thee to view, thee, and not thee thyself, I would not do. Like Grecian artists, give thee human cheeks, channels for tears, no naiad shouldst thou be. Have neither limbs, feet, feathers, joints, nor hairs, it seems the eternal soul is clothed in thee, with purer robes than those of flesh and blood, and hath bestowed on thee a safer good, unwearied joy, and life without its cares. And then, yeah, you just get a little bit of everything in here. It's really awesome. It's a little pocket of history. So, and lastly, I won't keep just reading to you from Harpers, though I might come back to it because I'm fascinated by it. So let me know if that's something you want to see. But in the 1900s, they dip into a little bit of color. Let me see. I don't know when it started, but it definitely by 1903, they were getting some colored illustrations in here, and some like paintings. I don't know. This is so fascinating to me. I really want to know how hard these are to find because I would snap them up in an instance. I'm sorry, I just opened up to a random thing. The Voodoo Boogie Boo. I don't know if this is a poem or a song. Don't really have much context, but if you want to do a screenshot of that, you can also learn the Voodoo Boogie Boo. Anyway, I want to explore these in much more detail. It's definitely something I'm going to hold on to, but those are what I found. Again, those are the highlights, the Harpers for $3. Can't beat that. Let me know if you've run across these before. Like, I want more, but I'm not going to sell my child for it or anything. But if I can get them at a reasonable price, I definitely won't want to seek them out. Okay, thank you for watching. I hope to see you soon. Have a great day. Thank you.